we'll go through the assignment. I believe the file has been shared already. And then we look at the code that was also shared again. Then there will be some material for you to read. We'd like us to schedule another meeting before we meet face to face, if possible. Okay, so after the discussion or after the class, we'll see when possible we can schedule that meeting, and then have introduce some few things before we meet in class. Because I've realized when we meet in class, we don't have enough time to finish whatever project we have to work on. So I believe you can all see my screen.
Yes, sir.
All right, so the first so this is the assignment that we've been given. So it's a simple JavaFX application for you to develop.
Okay.
Not different from what we did in class last week. So it's basically an application to calculate commission. So you are supposed to enter the sales the person made, and then adjust the slider a percentage-wise to the percentage of commission the person is supposed to make. And then the calculate button will calculate the commission based on this value given over here. So the commission let me just edit this quickly. I think I made a little mistake with the calculation. Just a minute. Okay, I think let's just maintain it that way. So let's just maintain it that way. So the code is supposed to calculate the commission. That's the total sale the person had times the percentage. Okay, that was adjusted in the slider. Okay, so that will give you the total percentage made from the commission made by computing the total percentage and then the total sales and then the percentage. Then the reset button should be able to clear every text, okay, in the two text fields that have been given. So it says you should develop an application or a project with the name application and then ID, where the ID is the group number. Okay, so each group enter their specific group number. So you are supposed to use a grid pane as a layout and add labels and text field and slider using the scene builder. Now you are supposed to employ the MVC here. So MVC using the model view controller. Okay, that means that inside your application, you are supposed to come out with 3 different files, one handling the view, the XML, handling the view, and the model, which is the Java code, and then the controller, okay, which is also a .java file. And the percentage slider. Okay, now you set the slider from 0 to 50%. Okay, that means that if a value or if someone moves the slider, the value over here should change. Then the calculate button should do the computation. Okay, like I've mentioned, the reset button should reset the fields to now. And then the commission text field, that's this particular text field here, should be non-editable. Okay, it should only display the commission. So basically, that's the application, a very simple one to start with. Okay, so a very simple one to start with. Okay. So let's go back and look at the code for the tip calculator that we developed. All right, so this is the tip calculator application. So you enter the amount, okay. Then the slider. Okay, in this case, the slider has been set from 0%. Okay. That's the tip percentage, has been set from 0% to 30%. Okay, so when you move the slider, the amount is supposed to reflect, or sorry, the percentage is supposed to reflect. Okay. So if I set it at 20%, this tip and the total field are non-editable. They are non-editable. That means I can't enter anything in there, unlike the amount text field. Okay. But these two, I can't enter any value in there. Now, when I calculate, it gives me what's the value in terms of the tip, and then the amount, the total amount. So the total, the tip value is now being added to the total amount. Okay. So that's how the application is. Now, in your case, over here, there's a dollar value here, a dollar sign here. In your case, you are supposed to change this dollar value, okay, to a CD value, even though based on the application, okay, you've written Ghana CD over here, okay, but I want that to reflect inside the code, to reflect inside the application. So now let's go to the code and then look at it briefly. So we created the JavaFX application, which is this. We created a class. Okay, this is auto-generated. And then we introduced the stage, so our stage or primary stage. Now we created the Java, the tip calculator.fxml, okay, and then that's supposed to handle the view aspects of the program. Okay. So in line 20, what we are doing here is we are linking the view, that's the FXML. Okay, we are loading it into the Java application. So we are loading that part into our scene. Then we load the scene on the stage. Okay, so we said the stage is like a frame, and the scene is like the panel. Okay, so whatever we are designing in the FXML is more like we are working on the panel. Okay, so here we come and load that particular panel or that particular pane on the scene. Then we put the scene on the stage. We set it on the stage, and then we display the stage. Okay. So here is just to load the FXML file. Okay. Now, in the FXML file, this is what we have. Okay, the file name, all have been set over here, the controller, all set. Okay. Now, this part, okay, is populated based on what we design on the scene builder. Okay. All that we have here is populated based on what we design on the scene builder. So for instance, on the scene builder, we did some few drag and drops. Okay. Then we set the properties in there. We set the various properties, the tooltip, the total, the calculate button. Now, for each of them, their properties are here. You can set them. But let me just focus on the slider. So with the slider, if you come to properties, you can set the minimum value over here from the properties, that's from 0, and the maximum value is 30. Okay, so this is from 0 to 30. Then there's a value. So the value is, for instance, by default, what value do you want a slider to be on? So over here, I set it to 15. That means if it's from 0 to 30, 15 should be directly on the middle. That's how come immediately you launch the application, the slider is directly on the middle. You can decide to set it to 0 so that once you launch the application, the slider is at 0%, and you can move it throughout the application. And the block increment, the other settings you can play with and figure out what they do. Then we set the text field, these two, not editable. So whatever you do there, the code is being populated here. So if you take, for instance, the label, is amount, the first label, and we have the text field. The ID is given, okay, the grid pane column index. Okay, in this case, the indexing is starting from 1. And we have the label for the text field slider, okay, given a text of 2. And the slider itself for the percentage, the maximum value is 30. The value here is 15. That's where it's supposed to be. The slider is supposed to be. Then the other labels, set editable has been set to false, and then the focus traversability also set to false. Then the pattern, mnemonic passing, we also set that to false. Mnemonic passing simply means that some value or a character in that particular text for pattern can be underlined. For instance, a B character for that. Okay. So all those values have been done here. Now we come to where the main work is going to be done. Main control is going to be done. So we have the model parts. The model is just handling where you are going to run the application. Let me put it that way. Okay. And the view is showing how the user interface will be. Then the controller is linking, or will be the interface between the model and then the view. That's the Java, the tip calculator, and then the FXML. All right, so over here, the number format is being introduced for the currency. Okay, so this is where we set the currency in the program. So that's utility function is called for the number format, and then the percentage. Okay, that one is also handled over here. Then the big decimal. Okay, what it's doing is picking what's the value for the tooltip. Sorry, the tip percentage. Okay, the tip percentage. Okay, and it's setting that value to 0.5. Okay, in terms of decimal. So what it's doing is that if, for instance, my value is 20%, okay, that 20% will be set to a value of 0.2. Okay, be set to a value of 0.2. This time we are working with 15%, so 0.5. Then here we control the UIs, okay, from the XML. So we are using the @fxml, which means that it's referring to, okay, the controls that we are using over here. So we have a text field, we have the label, we have the slider, the other text fields, and so they all are within the FXML. Then we create an action event. Now, the first event we are going to handle here, or that's been handled here, is for the button. Okay. So if you go to the button and you come to the code for the button, you set the action listener over here. Okay, so the action listener over here that I've set is a calculate button pressed. Okay, calculate button press. That's the action event that I've set here. Okay. So when I come back to my controller, that creates this event for me. That creates this event. So within this event, what is happening? We are taking the decimal value. This is where we are setting what's on the slider. We are taking the decimal value, big decimal. Okay, that's to convert whatever we have here, the amount. Okay, so whatever was entered from the amount text field, we get that value. Then the tip, the percentage, whatever we get, we use the amount dot multiply. Okay, so that's this amount here that was entered to be multiplied by the percentage. Okay. And then the total is equal to the amount plus add tip. So if you go back to, let me just launch the application again and then explain this. So what is happening is that when you enter the amounts, it will get the text. Line 41 will get the text. Then the tip, which is for this particular line, okay, will multiply in the amounts dot multiply. So it will multiply the tip percentage, that's this value over here, the amount. So the value that we get here will be multiplied by the amount here, and then the answer will be fed into the tip. Then when we take the total also, it's now there's an amount showing over here for the tip. So it's now going to add the amount that's from here to what is showing in the tip. Okay, the tip text field is going to add that to it and then give you the response or the answer in the total. Okay, so basically that's what is happening. Now, in this field, it will set the text, the tooltip text field is setting it to the currency, okay, dot format. So whatever value was got from the currency, but from the tip, okay, the currency text field is assigned to it. Okay. So with this currency text field, this currency package, okay, find out how you can introduce the Ghana cedi by still using this currency package. The same refers to the total tip. Okay. Now, all the statement has been put in a try. Okay, that means you are handling an exception. Exception handling. So the try is actually bringing out the aspect of the program which is supposed to perform the calculation. Okay. Now the catch here is supposed to throw a number format exception. Number format exception. So for instance, if the person is supposed to enter, let's say, a number, supposed to enter some amount which will come in the form of a number, and the person enters, let's say, some text, and I click calculate, okay, automatically it pops out here that what? Enter amount. Okay, so this is not supposed to accept the text. Okay, it's supposed to accept an amount. Okay, so that exception has been placed in there. And the same thing, select all, and then request focus. Okay, those options are also there. Now, so that's the end of the event listener, the event action, the action event. Okay, that's the action listener. Now we go to the initializer. Okay. Now the initializer is going to call, okay, the fxml, and then launch your or initialize your application. Over here, we have the currency. It's going to set round the value up. Okay. Then this listener here, that's for the slider. So the percentage slider dot value property, and then add listener. Okay. So this an action listener to set the value for the percentage. Okay, so what happens is that anytime the percentage value change, it will be based on what the tip percentage slider. So this is the change listener. Now, the public void change, that's the that's the event, okay, for changing the value of the slider. Okay, so in that particular event, what is happening is that the tooltip, okay, the tooltip is taking the big decimal which we declared earlier to handle the percentage dot value of. Okay, so the value of will set a new value which is from here. The argument over here, okay, to an int value. Okay, And whatever value it is, whether 25, 15, 20, okay, is going to divide by 100, okay, to get a decimal value. So that will be the value for the total. And then label take, okay, the text label where we introduce the 15%, which is here. Now take that value in a percentage format. Okay, so whatever value you enter from this part, or you slide the slider changed to that value taken, okay, in the form of percentage format, okay, and then displayed for the label or at the label for you to see. So that's what is handling this part of the program. So basically, that's what the entire code is about. Like I said, you have the source code that's been sent to you. Okay, so we can use that as a guide to develop the application, okay, or to solve the group assignment. Any question? Any question?
No, sir.
All right, so if there are no questions. Sorry, I didn't add the deadline to the assignment. We are submitting it by 12 a.m. 12 p.m. On we are submitting the project file, okay, by 12 p.m. on the next Friday, okay, which is, I think, which is the 4th of March, okay, by 12 p.m. So I'll send that to your class rep. And they are supposed to submit it. One person from the group should submit it on the LMS. Okay, one person from the group should submit it on the LMS on behalf of each member of the 5 groups. Now that's supposed to be submitted by, like I said, 12 p.m., 12 noon on Friday. Then when we come to class, each group will tell us what they've done, present what they've done in the project and how they went about it. Okay, and then marks will be awarded. Yes, I hope that makes sense. I hope you are all okay with that.
Yes, sir. Okay. Yes, sir.
All right. Okay, so depending on how the presentation goes, if we see that a lot of people actually involve themselves in the project, then we are going to maintain the groups. If not, the groups will be subdivided, will be split into two for the mid-semester project. Okay, the group will be split into two for mid-semester project. So I encourage everyone to get involved. All right, so there's this reading assignment for you. I'll try and share a book with you on that. It's just a minute. Let me see if I can locate. All right, so this